This is Outlandish Zicky Dice, and you're watching the best of old school and new school. This is the Nation Network. Outlandish.
And now, from Stage 21 at Universal Studios at Universal Orlando Resort.
Welcome, wrestling fans, back to the Nation Network. This is the XWF. We are 24 hours removed from one of the most talked about super shows of professional wrestling here on the Nation Network. Universal Assault was a massive success, ladies and gentlemen. We thank all of you. As we take a look at the Disorderlies heading down the aisle. So much taking place last night. If you haven't already checked it out, you need to go back and take a look. But the big news of the day, the return of Hulk Hogan here in the XWF.
Well, not only that, but we still have a lot of other news to talk about, including the condition of the three men that were supposed to be in that cage last night to represent the XWF.
Well, indeed, we do understand that all three men are being treated as we take a look at our brand new tag team champions, ladies and gentlemen.
537 pounds, the Extreme Tag Team Champions, Diamond Dallas Page and Dusty Rhodes, American made.
History was made last night. History is going to be made tonight as well. Our main event for the Women's Heavyweight Championship title. We are going to be hearing from Hulk Hogan at some point in time this evening.
Well, maybe there's a little bit more answers coming, because I'm like a lot of people wanting to know where he's been. This is supposed to be his promotion, and he's been AWOL for the last 2 months, and where I come from, there's kinds of penalties for that.
Disorderly number one with the American Dream, and wow, he might have just knocked him out cold. This is a non-title matchup for the brand new tag team champions, and Diamond Dallas Page having to get involved early on in this one. Once again has Dusty up, and this is not going well for the American Dream. He got caught again. He's out cold.
Yeah, things not looking too good for Dusty right now. And look at this, Disorderly number 2 goes right in for the cover.
Oh, I can't believe it. It is a shocking upset.
Well, I can tell you one thing 100% for sure at this point. 2K's numbers don't mean a damn thing, because we're looking at two guys who are set at 43. 43 overall ratings.
Well, anything can happen on any given day. The Disorderlies coming up with a shocking victory here over the brand new tag team champions. Not much celebrating going on in that camp.
Well, maybe not, but I still say there's some investigating needs to be done here. This is an absolute travesty.
Well, the Disorderlies, whoever's under those masks, has just made one heck of a statement. Fans will be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Wow.
Hi, it's me, Antonio Banderas. When I use my Bosch fridge, it makes me feel different. It makes me feel like Antonio Banderas.
Well, I hear you, brother. Because when I use my Bosch power tools,
I feel like the Macho Man Randy Savage. You dig it?
I do dig it, Randy.
Whip it!
Powerful power tools.
Phenomenal appliances.
Rotary hammers.
Dishwashers.
Mighty sauce.
Induction cooktops.
Randy!
Coming. impact drivers.
Refrigerators.
Watch this. Elbow.
The more you bosh, the more you feel like a bosh.
All right, fans, we are back, and wow, this crowd silenced after that opening contest.
The following is scheduled for
This will get them back on their
Entering
feet.
to the ring from Glyn Falls, New York, weighing in at 270 pounds, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan heading down the aisle with a 2x4, and I'll never understand why that's allowed.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what the meaning is, but it's kind of like his security blanket, I suppose. He likes to have it with him.
In a wrestling match, what part of that is you think is going to be copacetic there? Having a 2x4 in the ring?
Well, he's not going to use it.
No, he's never going to use it. That's why he's got it there. That's why policemen carry guns. They're not going to use them.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan might need to use that 2x4. As we take a look at the opposition.
From the
Wow.
land of the rising sun, weighing in at 558 pounds, Yokozuna.
The big sumo. Former grand champion, I understand.
Well, Yokozuna's a former champion in pretty much any walk of life he's ever entered into competition. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before that opportunity presents itself right here.
Wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Want to send a shout out to everybody joining us here live on the Nation Network today. Neil Hooper's in the house. Smooth Realism is here as well. Scott W., welcome aboard. Neil Hooper is here.
Also, Juan Cordero joining us here. So welcome everybody on the Nation Network. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button. We want to see at least 10 before the stream is done. Help us out to get the channel growing. Let's go.
I'll tell you right now, Yokozuna, I get a feeling that we're being pulled into a gravitational force every time he enters a room.
Well, he's got his own zip code. I don't know what else you want.
Referee calls for the bell, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan! Oh my goodness! He just clobbered him! He's gonna... Oh, I thought he had the win!
Wow, I've never seen Yoko take it off his feet that quickly, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, probably the smartest game plan you could have come up with.
Drops the knee! I can't believe what's happening here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely unprecedented.
I'll tell you what, the more things change, the more they stay the same. This is absolutely insane.
Duggan driving that near 300 pounds right into the head of Yokozuna, but he caught him with that clothesline.
Here is your winner.
Didn't need the 2x4 after all. 2K, you guys are a special kind of shit. We'll be back.
He's American
Wrestling fans, make sure you join us on Saturday mornings right here for Saturday Morning Superstars of Wrestling. All of the greats from the past will be right here on Saturday mornings here on the Nation Network. Names like Rowdy Roddy Piper, Bruno Sammartino, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Magnificent Morocco, and many, many more. All the action right here on the Nation Network Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you gonna do when the legends of wrestling run wild on you?
All right, fans, we're back. Don't blink. You might miss it. This one has a lot of people locked into their screens right now because this is going to be one heck of a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk Hogan not the only one making his return to the XWF last night.
At a combined weight of 770 pounds, Rosie and Shawn. 3-minute warning.
3-minute warning. They are a legitimate force to be reckoned with here in the XWF. But if you want to know how you match up with the greatest tag teams that we have here, no better test than the one that's in front of them right now. Making their return, ladies and gentlemen, the Legion of Doom.
560 pounds. And the Animal, the Road Warriors.
Well, whether you call them the Legion of Doom or you call them the Road Warriors, you're going to get two of the most badasses that have ever stepped inside the squared circle. A couple of guys with that Chicago street fight style that have absolutely dominated the tag team scene since the day they came into wrestling.
Indeed, they dominated the AWA for the longest time, then went over to the NWA, did the same, went over to the WWF, took everything out there, including demolition. They've done stints in Japan. Literally everywhere they've ever been, they have held tag team championships. They are the team that, in my opinion, the rest are measured against. And that includes 3-minute warning here tonight. Irish whip reversal. Oh, into the referee.
Well, that's on the referee there. His job is to get the heck out of the way, and he didn't do it quick enough.
Animal's in trouble, and now hold on just a moment. He's going for the big splash. Oh, that's going to do it. We could be looking at another short run here. Look at this. Hawk having to come in and make the save.
I don't know how many times we could possibly see it happen. I mean, couldn't there be 3 quick matches in a row to open this thing up tonight?
Rosie has him over the shoulder and drives him into the canvas. And now, oh, no, don't do this. Jamal, 300 plus pounds. Oh, that's it. It's over. He has just crushed the life out of the Road Warrior. Kicks out. Animal's not done yet. Another tag made. Double super kick. These two big men are able to move. Oh, wait. No way.
It's all over. If they hit this, it's over. There's no surviving a double doozle like this one.
Well, it is a statement night, no doubt about it. Goes for the cover. I cannot imagine what world he can kick out after that, and it's not going to happen.
They made it look easy against the Legion of Doom. I can't even believe what I just witnessed.
Look at this. From that middle rope, and shades of the Vader bomb right there. Really driving the life out of him. And here comes, a moment from now, we're going to see it, I believe. This double team. That should have been enough right there, but somehow he had enough left to find a way to kick out. I can't believe he did it.
Well, here's where it really went bad, from bad to worse.
That double super kick really took the life out of him. He couldn't move. And then both members of 3-minute warning from opposite sides. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a combined near 600 pounds coming down on your body at the same time. You're not kicking out on that. I don't care who you are.
Here are your winners, Rosie
Rosie and Jamal. Oh my goodness, manhandling them. I've seen it all now. 3-minute warning. They are here. And what a statement.
Well, let me tell everybody something. America is back. 2024 was a great year. And in 2025, we made the decision to make America great again. And what better way? With real American beer. We're bringing America back together in 2025 with real American beer. So what you gonna do when real American beer and all my Hulkamaniacs run wild on you?
It has been a quick night, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mind telling you. We're not getting paid by the hour around here, I guess. Next matchup is a special 6-man tag team match.
Tag team match. And at a combined weight of 488 pounds, Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers.
Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers, are here. And they have had quite a bit of success here in the XWF as well.
I'm still getting over what we just saw with 3-minute warning. I mean, that was such an unbelievable match.
And their partner from Amarillo, Texas, weighing in at 247 pounds, Terry Funk.
And their tag team partner tonight, middle-aged and crazy, he says, Terry Funk.
Well, if he's middle-aged, I guess he's expecting to live to be 120.
Well, stranger things have happened.
Especially tonight.
Still to come, the ladies' championship title match. Originally scheduled for last night, however, due to travel complications, China was not able to make it. And instead, we will have that as our feature main event here tonight. And here comes the opposition, ladies and gentlemen.
And at a combined weight of 725 pounds, the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, Rick Flash, and Tully Blanchard.
Well, it wasn't a great night for the Heenan family. I mean, they maintained the World Championship with Mr. Perfect, but they did lose the tag team titles.
Well, one thing we do know, there's always going to be a return match clause in every championship, so that means we will see Flair and Rude going once again against the champions. But after what we saw tonight, may very well see those tag team titles right back in the stable where they were. Going for a cover quickly. And a 2 count on Tully Blanchard. Mosh has him up in the air. Big slam. Thrasher tagged in, now the legal man. And Blanchard with a collar and elbow. Gets caught with a jawbreaker. That one stuns him, and he's at least in his corner where he should be able to get some help, but he needs to make the tag.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here tonight, but right now, whoever gets out the blocks first is having a really good day.
Saw Flair trying to take a shot there. Thrasher wasn't able to connect with it. Arn Anderson is right there. Now Bobby the Brain Heenan distracting him. Blanchard back on his feet. And now Tully Blanchard taking advantage of the distraction. He's got him with a pile driver. And now, wait a minute. Steel chair in the ring. I wonder how that happened. Look at Bobby the Brain telling the ringsiders to keep it quiet.
No, I think he wanted them just to be quiet so that he could communicate with his team. I don't know how that chair got there.
Oh, give me a break. You know exactly how that chair got there, the way we all know. Double team now by the Brainbusters. Oh, that's got to be it.
That's definitely going to keep him down for a 3 count. I can't imagine any circumstances down. You're not getting up from that. I'm a little surprised his teammates didn't try to help.
At this point in time, I'm not surprised with anything. What the hell? Well, we take a look at this one. It wasn't just the spike pile driver. Tully hit him with the pile driver. Then, and let's see where that steel chair ends up. Did he?
No, he didn't spike him on the chair. That definitely would have put him out.
Oh, he's awfully close. Oh, he might. I think he caught part of that chair.
Well, you know what? Maybe. Either way, you're not getting up from that.
Here are your winners. Rick Flash, the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard.
Well, that's a good rebound victory. They needed that after last night. We'll be back with our main event. Stay with us.
There's only one man who can tell the world all that goes on in pro wrestling.
I'm Captain Lou, and I'm talking to you about the world of pro wrestling. Call me. I'm telling you. This number's for you. Mom, you raised a great son.
There'll be no more calls for you, Lou. My boys and I are taking you in. Get it. Come on.
I got a right to make one phone call, and so do you.
Lou Albano's Wrestling Hotline, available until further notice or a hearing. Call now. $1.50 for the first minute, 35 cents each additional minute.
The phone is scheduled for one fall and is for the Extreme Women's Championship.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. One of the more anxiously anticipated matchups that we have had in a while here. China has dominated the women's title for almost a year and a half now. The one person who has a clean victory over her in a non-title match is her opponent tonight, Alundra Blaze.
Well, there's a difference between a non-title match and a title match, and it's not just the fact that the title's on the line. China may have taken some different roads during that match. She may have taken some chances and done things that she wouldn't normally do, knowing she couldn't lose the title.
Well, everything is possible. We'll see how that translates here. And whether or not Alundra Blaze can have lightning strike twice in the same place.
Well, one thing's for sure, whichever one of these two ladies is likely to win, they should do it in under 30 seconds.
Still to come, ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan is in the building.
You don't think he's going to talk for half an hour, do you?
I would say probably not. We do invite you to stick around after the show ends for a very special ringside report. You don't have to go anywhere. We will be right back immediately following the conclusion of tonight's program as we take a look at the Women's Championship title there.
Introducing the challenger from Tampa, Florida, Alundra Blaze. And her opponent from Redondo Beach, California, the Extreme Women's Champion, the ninth wonder of the world, China.
Well, the ninth wonder of the world is a champion's name, and that's a name that she has earned.
She has been the dominant force here in the XWF. Nobody has really been able to put a dent in the armor. Many have tried, and they have come close. But Alundra Blaze actually was one that was able to secure a victory.
Well, again, that's a non-title match, and I'm not convinced that that's going to necessarily weigh over here.
Big right hand by China, backing her up into the corner. Now the champion with a forearm shiver drops her. Choking her out. Where's the referee with a count?
I don't know if he can count to 5 anymore. He hasn't had a count past 3 tonight.
Perched up on the top rope, and now the challenger in trouble. China goes up there with Alundra Blaze. This is going to end badly. Suplex and down, both women go. But Alundra feeling the effects of that one.
That'll take a little bit out of both people, because bottom line is even China was coming from a good 6 to 7 feet off the ground.
Now from the top rope, the champion encouraging her to get back to her feet, which she does, and there's the double axe handle. You got to be kidding me. Not again. Kicks out on 2.
You know, I've seen a lot of squirrely things happen in the world of wrestling, but I've never seen a night like tonight.
China now going for the Boston Crab. Oh, the giant swing. Shades of Gorilla Monsoon.
Well, the champion has dominated this match from start to finish, at least thus far.
Now Frankensteiner then comes up with a series of punches to the head, and Alundra Blaze has had no answer for any of the offense thus far. Alundra pulls herself out ringside onto the apron.
Yep, and China's going to pull her right back in.
No rest for the weary. Go for the cover and able to kick out once again.
Well, she's just proactive or dragging out the punishment as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, now Alundra with a big right hand spun her around, belly to back, has her up and a suplex. Oh, drop the champion on the back of her head. Now that might make a difference.
Well, it's a start, but she's got to put a bunch of moves together the same way China did.
See a look of concern now on the face of the champion that wasn't there earlier. Oh, China getting up quickly and back and forth. They exchange blows. Oh, what a roundhouse kick.
I wonder when they're going to come up with a patch that gets the referee to move his ass away from the hard camera.
My guess would be sometime in 26. All of a sudden, Alundra Blaze has really turned things around here in this match. It looked like it was going to be over and over quickly. Horse collared her with that clothesline, going for the cover. Can she make it happen? There's 1, 2. She's gonna. Oh man, I thought we had a new champion.
Well, it was close, no doubt about it. Right now, Alundra Blaze is starting to feel it.
China doesn't know what's going on. Went for the German suplex. We've seen her use that a number of times. China had it well scouted.
Retaliates with an atomic knee drop. I don't know if that'll be enough.
Able to kick out. Going for a power bomb. Indeed, just drops her. I think her head may have struck the bottom rope on the way down.
Well, if that happens, she's going to be in a lot more trouble.
China with a big splash off the top rope, and now the champion perhaps ready to put this one away. Nobody home. And now Alundra Blaze has her up. Face first and all. That might be enough.
If I were her, I would have gone for a pin after that one. You don't know if you have or not, but there's one way to find out for sure.
To the ropes. Oh, that's a spinning back heel kick right to the face. Almost took her head off her shoulders with that one. And now she's got her in a Boston Crab. I beg your pardon, a camel clutch.
China's in a whole lot of trouble, but the champion will not surrender.
Oh, this starting to look like perhaps Lightning will strike twice. To the ropes, back out front, nice drop down. And again with that spinning back heel kick right in the jaw.
Well, that's a pretty good target when you're talking about China.
Alundra Blaze thinks she's got it. Do we have a new women's champion here? Not yet. Alundra on the top rope. Perfectly placed elbow. And now the ninth wonder of the world in trouble. Alundra Blaze waiting for the moment. There it is. Here's that German suplex into the bridge. Referee's in position. And China able to kick out.
Not too many people kick out of that one. She has a great bridge when she hits with that.
That spinning back heel kick has been her bread and butter here tonight. China now fighting back. At least one match has shown up tonight. Dragon screw takes her down with that leg drag. Again, waiting the moment. What is she going to go for? German suplex again. She connects. That could be enough. Referee counts two. We have a new champion. History made, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta tell you right now, I am surprised to say the least, but what a big victory it was.
The ninth wonder of the world, China, perhaps mentally thinking about the fact that, hey, here's somebody who's already beat me once.
Well, it could indeed be that. I don't know, but at the end of the day, Alundra Blaze seems to have the number of the ninth wonder of the world, which nobody else has been able to say that.
Now, that German suplex is absolutely devastating, and we think back to how this match began. It looked like it was going to be over before it began. That horse collar clothesline right there really took some of the starch, I think, out of the champion.
Yeah, well, then look at this here, though. You got that power bomb. That'll take the life out of everybody.
Both of these women brought their A game here tonight. No two ways about it. Reverse X Factor right there. Almost got her the win. And here, I believe we may be seeing it. The German suplex. Look at the bridge. Look at the arch. All that impact coming down on the neck and the shoulders, and that's enough to give us a brand new women's champion.
Extreme Women's Champion, Alundra Blaze.
Well, the main event lives up to the name of main event. We've got a new women's champion here in the XWF. When we return, we will hear from Hulk Hogan.
Boo all you want. All I see are dollar signs. The overcharger can charge for expensive car repairs because your warranty expired and there's nothing you can do about it.
And overcharging, your days are done. Woo! The Ninja Boys teamed up with Car Shield, the Bill Lauren, mechanic of your choosing, Auto Avenger, and we're treating bullies like him to a buffet of woo! Car Shield cars go farther. Woo!
All right, fans, we are back, and here he comes. made the big return last night. Universal Assault, and here's Hulk Hogan.
I know it's been a long time, brothers. And I know all my Hulkamaniacs been out there wondering, Hulkster, where you been, man? Well, the fact of the matter is this. Hulk Hogan had to take a little bit of time off, man. I had to take some time to get my head straight after what happened in the WCW, brother. Losing a match is one thing, but I've never been told that I've got to leave. So I thought about it long and hard, and I got a hold of Teddy Long, and I said, I'm ready to come back to work, man. And I knew, I've been watching what's been going on around here with the IWF, and I've been watching as people like Ric Flair and Bobby Heenan, the Heenan family, man, thought they were going to roll in and take control of the XWF. Can you imagine that, brother? Well, the fact of the matter is this, man. Hulkamania is still here, and it's still running wild, brother. We proved that at Universal Assault. We proved that by tearing the cage down, brother, by going all the way on top of the 20-foot structure, man, and lifting the Thor right above my head, the mighty Thor, and driving him straight to the canvas below. Hulkamania ran wild, and Hulkamania will always run wild. Because as I say time and time again, what you gonna...
Hold on just a moment. Ravishing Rick Rude. Oh my goodness.
Hulkamania is gonna run wild. Hulkamania is always running wild. Well, where's it been running for the last 6 to 8 weeks, Hogan? You haven't been running wild, you've just been running. And we have been here to pick up and clean up your mess. And now you want to ride in on your silver stallion, you and the immortals, as you call them, and think that you're just going to be able to waltz your way right back to the top of the card again? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. I have made a move for a vote of no confidence to have you removed from this organization as well. So you got a small taste of it with WCW, but if you think coming back here is going to be an automatic fit, you better have a chat with your boy Teddy Long, because I've already made the petition and it's official. If we have enough votes, you are history.
What?
That's not gonna happen, brother.
He can't do that. Fans will be back with more action next time. In the meantime, stick around for a very special ringside report in just a moment. Well. The more things change, the more they stay the same. How's everybody doing out there? That's got to be record setting. How much time do we do on that? Let me see something here. We'll say about 41 minutes. Damn. 41 minutes. 2K, you guys are just so special. There's really just no words to tell you how special you are, but I can think of a few. Quickest show ever. It was. It really was. Oh, my goodness. Who booked this, Eugene? It could have been, Scott. I don't know. I've seen it happen once or twice lately, and it's, again, somebody was asking, how I have the same slider settings I've had. The same slider settings I had yesterday, and we had a pretty damn good card yesterday. I haven't touched anything. It does what it wants. And by the way, the Disorderlies are undefeated now. And I'll show you. I ain't lying, man. Hold on a minute. Get me out of this. They had a match, I think, in the IWF, if I'm not mistaken, and I forget who they beat there, but yeah, they ended up winning a match they weren't supposed to win. They're supposed to be enhancement talent. Actually, no, wait, stay here. Stay. Superstars. $54.59. I mean, come on, man. You can't tell me those numbers mean anything. They're unbeaten. Those numbers are crap. Look at this. No finisher. I'm going to take all the friggin' recovery away, too, now. It's like, what the hell? I don't think it matters any. Stamina will take stamina away. I mean, what the hell you got to do? Smooth. It can be annoying. The camera is a bit on the sensitive side. I'm surprised they don't have a setting for sensitivity like every other game in the world has. But that all said, after you play with it long enough, and then it gets better. I'm talking about the camera, by the way, just so nobody gets confused. Wow, okay, I'm not sure how he had any power submission offense in there, but all right, might have overlooked that one. Bring the strength down, bring stamina down, recovery down. He's still at a 56. That makes him pretty dangerous, I guess. I don't know. I just can't figure this freaking shit out. I really can't. You're one of those frames guys. You know what? That's the least of my concern. I think the image is good enough. I think the gameplay is where they really need to focus their energies on. My issue is definitely not with the look of the game. The aesthetic of the game is the only thing they have going for them, in my opinion. But as you can see, these guys had really low numbers, and now they've won not one but two matches where they were clearly overmatched, which tells me these numbers don't mean a damn thing. There was one of their games, I want to say it was near, it might have been 20. Why not? Everything else was wrong with 20. 20 or 22, I forget. It was somewhere in that ballpark where somebody legit just put everything as low as it would go and had a best of 5 match or something like that, and it was two name characters, like Drew McIntyre and CM Punk kind of thing, right? So it was two in-game characters. He just downed all the numbers on one of the characters, and damned if that wasn't the one that won 3 out of 5 matches. So I think they just do this to make us think it has some meaning, but it clearly does not. Don't let them tell you different. The gameplay sucks when you're doing what I've been doing, which is simulating the games. And I do that most of the time because then I have no idea what's going to happen, and I like that. Sometimes I'll play a match simply because I need a certain outcome one way or another, and I'll do it that way, whether that means I'm playing the person I want to go over, or sometimes I'll play the one that is going to do the job just to make sure the job gets done. But I mix it up a little so that you all don't know. It's not like, oh, he's playing that character, it's going to win. No, I mix it up. But that all said, shit, I shouldn't have to do that with the Disorderlies. They're supposed to be my laydown team, man. Well, look, they're behind the times in the fact that their game isn't as good as it used to be. That's the problem. They had a game that played a lot better with 2K19. Even 2K24, I mean, the only thing they've done differently is, well, we have the island now, so there is that. And you do have some promo stuff, sort of, in universe mode. But other than that, really, what have you done? Nothing. Really, just nothing. Didn't have a chance to talk about it yesterday, but obviously everybody knows the news by now that Sabu passed away a couple days ago. And, man, it for me, it reeked of like the Ultimate Warrior. It's like he was just on TV. In this case, Sabu just had his retirement match like 2 weeks ago. And last I heard, they haven't announced any official cause of death yet. We'll have to wait and see what that's all about. I don't know. No matter what, it's going to suck. So it doesn't really matter what the cause is at the end of the day, whether it's natural causes at 60 years old. I mean, it happens. Not to mention the guy just did all that shit to himself, 2 weeks ago, going through bad barbed wire. By the way, that was legit barbed wire. Wasn't doctored up or anything, because one of the guys on one of the YouTube channels that does pretty good stuff was there for that match, and after the match was over, got a piece of the barbed wire. He asked the ring crew if he could have a piece, and they cut off like 6 inches of it or whatever and gave it to him. And those barbs were barbs, man. They were not in any way nipped up or anything. Oh, I know what it was. I was watching Stevie Richards with that James guy, the young British guy. And the British guy knew somebody that was there at the Janela last match and took a photograph holding that piece of barbed wire, and they showed it. Yeah, 2K19 is the best thing they've ever put out. Yeah, I mean, look, Sabu lived a pretty crazy life. Forget what he did in the ring. Definitely did some crazy shit outside the ring as well. A lot of them did. So it could be a cumulative total of, living a hard lifestyle. It just, the timing of it is just so, I don't know. It just really hit when I heard that. I felt the exact same feeling I had with the Ultimate Warrior. It's like, no, man, he was just on TV yesterday. He's not dead. And the same thing, Sabu. I'd just seen clips of that match, and I thought it was insane. I also thought it was kind of wild that he shows up in a white suit. But it's a barbed wire match, and I guess he's getting to that 60-year-old point where he didn't want to necessarily get stuck to shit with barbed wire. Man. I mean, think about this. If somebody would have told you 2 years ago that Sabu or that Ric Flair was going to outlive Sabu, would you believe it? I mean, you would think it'd be plausibly possible, but I don't know if it would be something I'd be like, yep, that could happen. Well, wishing all the best for him. Sending prayers, because that is just the way it happened. Just had the retirement match, and that's kind of like, that's when you're supposed to go and live your life now. Well, let's wait and see what the final results are. There might be more to the story than what we know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking with this. This was terrible. If it weren't for the main event, man, that's the one thing that saved this show was the main event, because damn 2K. They will find a way to stick that barbed wire up your ass each and every year. They really do. Jake Roberts is indeed a walking miracle. If he hadn't gotten a hold of Diamond Dallas Page when he did, he would not be here now. I remember what was the documentary? Was it Beyond the Mat? Where he was so overweight. Oh, my God. And he was strung out, and he was a hot mess. Well, Smooth, if it gave you a laugh, that's cool. I was hoping to give you a little more than that, though. When I booked that card, I was like, hey, this is going to be a fun night. And then, boom, it's all over, and the Road Warriors are jobbers. So the Road Warriors are jobbers, but the Disorderlies win against the tag team champions. You go figure. I would love a wrestling game that, I don't know, wrestles. Maybe better luck next time, I guess. I don't know. Jake's character is ahead of its time. If you mean the Jake the Snake Roberts thing, I don't know. I mean, that type of character has to start sooner or later, so I think, I'm trying to think, prior to Jake Roberts, was there a legit heel that had such an upswelling from the fans? And really mainly because of his finisher. Oh, I take it back. You know, his promos were top-notch. So there was that aspect of it as well. But that finisher, the DDT back in the day, especially the way he delivers, you just couldn't wait to see that. It's like, man, this guy's going to get his head bounced off the canvas. And it got better each time. He put a little extra stank on it and figured out little nuances to it. But I can't think of another heel. Austin would be after that. I'm saying before that, though. Piper was heel gold, yes, but we were booing him. I'm talking about the heel that you cheer for. Ric Flair fell into that category. The Horsemen fell into that category. But again, after Jake. They were so bad, they were good. Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. Supposed to be the bad guy. Ends up turning Brett bad guy. I mean, you have to be a special kind of guy to make that happen. Oh, a lot of people are inspired by him. I'm just trying to think if there was ever anyone prior to him that had that kind of heel heat, that he was so bad, like what Dom's doing. Dom was the ultimate bad guy, and now fans love him, and he didn't do anything different. He hasn't come to the rescue of a baby or anything, hasn't rescued a kitten from a tree. He's still being an obnoxious prick, and it doesn't matter. The fans are there. Jacob Fatu, supposed to be a bad guy. That ain't happening. But I just keep on looking at, when I think Jake Roberts, I don't think of anyone else prior to that was such a bad guy that the fans overwhelmingly cheered for him. Bad News Brown was the most unique heel. I guess unique would be a word. I never cared for Bad News Brown. His promos just seem flat to me. And after his WWF run, he ended up doing there was a pay-per-view called Shoot. I think it was just called Shoot or Shoot Wrestling. I forget what it was. And it was basically an MMA kind of thing long before there was MMA. So it was kind of pro wrestling, but it really wasn't. I mean, these guys really were fighting. And it wasn't wrestlers per se. It was trained fighters. And I believe it was originated from Japan, and then it was on pay-per-view and somewhere. I've got it buried somewhere. And he was one of the competitors. I didn't know any of the other people. But then he came out and said, oh, shit, that's Bad News Brown right there. Or Bad News Allen, depending where you're watching him from. And he put up I think he won his fight. But it was legit. It was a legit friggin' shoot fight. So he's not that he couldn't do it. Yeah, Neil, I mean, Undertaker as well is another good name, but again, after Jake Roberts did it. I'm trying to think of a name prior to Jake Roberts, and I can't come up with one. I suppose, in a way, I mean, the Magnificent Morocco was a bad guy for a very long time. My friend was a big Morocco fan when he was a heel. And I really liked Morocco, too. I thought he had that likability to him. But the fans overall weren't cheering him until after he got with Superstar Billy Graham and turned babyface. But that was, again, after Jake Roberts. Yeah, from everything I've heard, Bad News was very subjective as to who he would get along with. I don't know if it mattered whether they were on the babyface roster or the heel roster. He just seemed to be real particular from what I've ever heard of him in shoot interviews and things of that nature. Not that he was a prick, just that, you know, if he didn't like you, he didn't like you. Nah, Smooth, I'm never going to agree with that one, though. To say Dom only got over because he was carried by a storyline and all that. Look, they can give you any storyline you want or they want. You have to be the one that carries it. And his personality, his persona, his character, the things he says, the whole deadbeat dad thing, he made himself. Look, there's nothing the writing staff can do to get the decibel levels of boos that this guy has had for the last year and a half. You know, you watch the shoot interview with Rhea Ripley on CVV, and she's talking about the fact that Dom couldn't cut his own promos. That's why she would finish his sentences, because they would at least let her talk. It's like he couldn't get the words out, so I had to take the microphone and say it because they would let me speak. I name another heel that ever had that. I mean, there have been heels that, again, Roddy Piper was definitely not a liked man, but he had Piper's Pit, and he got a lot of words out without interruption. And he never got the decibel levels of boo. He probably got them in cheers once he switched over. But when he was a heel, he didn't have that level of heat. So writing staff doesn't do that. Storylines don't do that. That's what you, the person, have to bring to the table, and he does. I definitely don't think it's just because he was there, though. No. He might not be the greatest in-ring performer. I'm not going to, say he's going to have a 5-star match with a broomstick. But at the same time, he does his job really well. The only person in modern times that I can think of that was close to him back in his heyday was The Miz. And the common denominator is they're both very unlikable, but at the same time, that's not really them and that they're really likable. So I think it's a respect thing that you are so good at making me forget you're not a bad person. Well, look, when Dom first came in, he wasn't over that much, no, because he came in as Ray's son, and he was being a babyface, what else are you going to do with him at that time? From the day he turned on Ray, brother, he has been the guy. He has been the white heat. And he's maintained it for all this time. That's the other thing, too. That normally fades over time. Yeah, apparently Travis is training with Booker in Houston, and honestly, I just can't stand the dude in any way, shape, or form. Plus, he's like 180 pounds on a good day. What are you going to do with this guy? He has no business in the ring. Well, I mean, comparing Jake and Dom are two different apples and oranges, really. They might be in the same basket, but they're two different things also 2 different generations. So I don't know that that's a fair comparison. I think for this generation, I think you can make the argument that Dom's probably done a better job of getting that heel heat. Because even when Jake was getting it, and he'd pull the snake out and put it on people, there was something cool about that. No one else did it. And you kind of wanted to see it happen. So even if he's beaten, let's say he was going to beat Hulk Hogan and put the snake on him, you kind of want to see that. Dom was just hated. Now, I know, believe me, Travis is a joke. But he is training with Booker, and they are planning on bringing him in at least for a match. By the way, for the DLC later in the week, they still haven't named the celebrity, really? I mean, all roads seem to be pretty definite that it's going to be him. Some of our PC friends have found files in there that had images of the hardcore belt that he carries around. Like, why is he carrying a belt at all? I do agree, Scott. Jake did not need a title. It would have been nice for him to have one, though, just for fun. Right after you get in the ring with it, put it in the bag with Damian so that the day comes where you lose the match, go get your belt. Then he could still keep walking around with it because nobody wants to go in the bag and get it. Yeah, Smooth. That's exactly why he got the heel heat. But he's maintained it for a year and a half. I always preferred the Python over the Cobra. I thought first off, the Cobra's a lot more difficult. By the way, I did not know this one story. I guess Jake had gotten in some legal problems going way back in time, which, so we know he had a lot of legal problems. But this one was in the UK, as I recall the story being told, and with animal control, because he had kept one of the pythons in a small cage and hadn't fed it for, I forget how long, like 6 weeks. And by the time animal control got there, it was really underweight, and then it ended up dying like 2 days later. Oh, fuck Joe Henry. I'm telling you what, man, I don't get it. I just don't get it. When he first came back to Impact, I had never seen him before this current time in Impact Wrestling, which is now going on over a year. So that was my first real chance to see him. And at that time, Impact had a little goofiness to them, and they did it well. Like with Rosemary and all that kind of, wacky witchcraft stuff and the little segments where they're going into the dark world. And it was funny. She was great. Valkyria was great. They all worked so well together that it was really good stuff. And even what he's doing with Santino now, it's not bad. Even though we've been there, seen it, it's still not bad. And it works for them. It wouldn't work for everybody. So Joe Henry starts coming out in the early episodes here where people are like in the dentist and saying his name, and all of a sudden he's popping into the dentist office and doing, and I was like, okay, it's kind of goofy and stupid, but it'll work for them, and it did. But my biggest thing with him, honestly, is that stupid look on his face. Like during the entrance where he'll stand there and then turn and stare, not even with that dumb grin on his face, but the stare lasts like 20 seconds. It's like if it only lasted 2 or 3 seconds, probably wouldn't bother me. But he stands there like a porcelain figurine. It's just annoying as hell. I can't. I just can't. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think he's a good in-ring worker. I think he's undersized, but, a lot of Rey Mysterio was champion, so Size doesn't always matter. I don't care what she says. I had heard something about the TNA removing blood now from their matches, which tells me that, well, because WWE kind of had that policy, but now they've been getting away from it. So I would have originally said it has something to do with WWE's partnership, but it doesn't make sense to me that you would do that to your partners when you don't do it yourself. Yeah, that seems to be the popular talk, is that Cena and R-Truth on Saturday night's main event. Here's the problem, guys, and this is why I said it was a big mistake from the get-go. There's zero chance of Cena losing to R-Truth on Saturday night's main event. So why am I going to watch it? There is absolutely no possibility of it happening. There's no reason for me to watch this. I do kind of like Joe and Elias as a pairing. But again, it's that stupid smile gimmick. It's obnoxious. I just can't stand it. It turns my stomach and makes me turn the channel. And while I think he's a decent worker, I don't think he's that good. I mean, he's okay. He's not bad. But there's a lot better. But wrestling is, if nothing else, an art form, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I'm just sharing my thoughts and my opinions. I don't dislike the guy. The minute he does that schmoozing thing with that smile and that, I'm just out. Gotta turn the channels. Or at least fast forward. All right, folks. I felt I owed you some extra time because, man, that was a terribly fast show. Oh, and Scott, by the way, that whole thing was so bad. With Cena, when when Truth came out and started doing his shtick, I was like, oh, this is going to be funny as hell. And then right away, it's like, oh, never mind. He's going to put him through the table. And he goes to put him up in the AA, only he missed him. He couldn't grab, so he's got to, Truth has to help him grab him around the head and neck to protect him. So if you watch it again, he goes between the legs, gets him up on his shoulders, and then with his left arm, he's going to grab the back of the head, and he missed, and he had to come back and do it a second time, but he even had to adjust Truth's weight a little bit. So Truth kind of had to help move himself into position, kind of ruined that moment. And then everyone in there is a mark. So there's no reaction from the fans because they all know, oh, okay, we're setting up Saturday night's main event. Okay. It was so matter of fact. It was stupid. Primetime, they have a lot of their stuff on YouTube, man, within like 24 to 48 hours. Or just do what I do with a lot of the other stuff. Like, I'm not getting Netflix or anything like that, but I still watch Monday Night Raw if anything good happens. Either I'll watch the highlights on WWE's YouTube page or go to Daily Motion, and you can watch the whole damn thing. Granted, they're going to throw a bunch of commercials in there, but you can watch it. Cena never got married. After he and Nikki broke up, wasn't there some other chick, though, that he was really, like, moved in and all that kind of stuff? Wasn't a wrestler this time, though. His first marriage must have, it did end badly, but, it must have been really bad. But I get it. When you're John Cena and you got John Cena money and John Cena clout, you got to wonder, is the bitch here for me or for my money? I don't have that problem when I got a girlfriend. I know she ain't here for my money because she can't have it. Yeah, man, no problem at all. Like I said, Daily Motion is your friend. You can watch damn near anything on Daily Motion. Boxing pay-per-view, Daily Motion. You wait till the next day, but not a big deal. Yeah, WWE really does do a good job of putting their product out there. A lot of it the same night, like maybe 20 minutes after it happened. The one thing they didn't show, and I had to do some hunting, and then finally I just went to Daily Motion and watched it there, was the Paul Heyman promo that he did on Monday Night Raw, which was friggin' gold. One of the best promos in many, many years by anybody. You see all these people. You got John Cena, you got Dwayne, Alexa Bliss? No, Liv Morgan. Okay, Liv Morgan. Going out and doing movies. And you can make an argument, we haven't seen Liv's yet, so I'll be curious. Wouldn't be surprising to me if she does a great job. Dwayne, we've seen his movies. They're mediocre. I would love to see Heyman in a movie. Obviously, he can't be the leading man, but he could be like the attorney or something like that. Can you imagine him in a courtroom scene, like A Few Good Men? Or hell, he could be the Jack Nicholson character. That would work too. Well, it's hard to see him as a general, but you get the idea. I mean, something with he would freaking kill that shit. Give him a small bit role and watch him steal it. There's an actor, some of you probably know who it is, Paul Giamatti. And the first movie I'd ever seen him in where I would then recognize him after that was Howard Stern's movie about his life called Private Parts. And Paul Giamatti played the station director that Howard was fighting with back in the late 70s, early 90s. And this dude stole the show. He was so good. In the limited scenes that he had, it was funny. He even looks a little bit like a younger Paul Heyman, kind of, sort of. I mean, he stole the show. His one-liners, his delivery, and I feel like if you put Heyman in a role like that, he would do the same thing. He would steal that shit. I can only imagine what the Penguin played by Paul Heyman would look like. Well, I'll tell you, prime time, at least I'll try to watch AAA again now just to see what they do with it, and hopefully there's going to be an English version of it, because that was the biggest thing for me. I thought I'd end up learning some Spanish by watching it, but it never really worked that way, and I was just like, I don't know these names too well. I don't know their backstories. I'm sure they're explaining all the history and stuff. I just couldn't follow it. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they have an English and Spanish version of it, and I think they would behoove themselves to do it, because otherwise you're losing a big portion of the wrestling public. Heyman was in Rollerball? I only saw... Was Rollerball a remake? There was another one. If not, there was a movie very similar to Rollerball like 20 years earlier. I don't know that I saw the remake. Or the more recent movie with that name on it anyway. How big a part did he have in Rollerball? Because if it's worthwhile, I might rent it just to watch it. Yeah, all right. So I love They Live. And, Piper was obviously in that and a couple of other movies. But that's probably, I think if anyone's going to say what movie Roddy Piper known for, I think that would have to be the one. It was from a storyline point, it wasn't terrible, because you could see how parts of it do blend in. And actually now it might be even more accurate nowadays, because the government's come out and said, yeah, we actually have UFOs. And now nobody even gives a shit. They've admitted to it all now, and nobody's even paying attention. But the writing wasn't particularly good. I don't think Roddy Piper's acting in the movie was very good. I do think that the scene, that everyone thinks of automatically, which was ad-libbed, of course, which is the bubblegum line, that wasn't in the script. But how good an actor can you be given that script with that storyline? It's so over the top. The acting's going to be over the top. It's not going to be anything that you would look at and say, my goodness, what a performance. It's not that kind of a script. Heyman had a little part in that one. Well, I still may check it out just to see. When ECW was on TNN, I'm going to guess he was an announcer. Does that sound about right? That's just my guess. Never heard of Sideways. There were a couple of other Giamatti movies that were real. I mean, he's excellent. That's one of those guys, man. You give him a script and he's going to make it. And I can't think of the other movies off the top of my head because I've been up since 1 a.m, so I'm winding down quickly. But he definitely had at least 1 or 2 other ones where I was like, damn, look at him again. Maybe it was a TV series. Was he on like West Wing or some shit? Yeah, I can totally see Paul Heyman being the rollerball announcer. Sideways was a movie or a TV show? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I didn't watch a lot of it. I just knew that he was in it. But I freaking loved him in Private Parts. My God, he was so good in that movie. If you haven't seen it, it is a great movie. Fun fact, though, if you're not a Stern fan, I was then, I'm not now. But the whole story is about Stern and his unlikely marriage to this lady who put up with all his shit. Movie comes out, did pretty damn well for itself. And then about 1.5 years later, got divorced. It is a movie. Okay, I'll have to check that up and see if I can find it on one of the multiple services that I already pay for. That I hardly ever... The only thing I pay for and use all the time is YouTube. Memphis and Continental Wrestling. The good old days. All right, folks, I got a wrap. Again, thank you once again for hanging out with me, and I apologize once again for such a short show, but yeah, what are you going to do with 2K? I mean, I feel like beating my head against the wall's done no good, so I'm just going to say, fuck it. It is what it is. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back with some more real soon. Don't forget, if you haven't checked out Saturday Morning Wrestling, go catch up on it, because that's actually one of the shows I'm having the most fun with right now. Real throwback vibes going on with that thing. So if you missed the good old days, or if you weren't around for them and want to get a little taste of kind of what it was like, I think this show does a pretty good job of that. So appreciate y'all. We'll be back and do it again real soon. Until then, so long and good night.